Film noir gave us some of the greatest crime movies ever made, but not all of them became famous. Some incredible films slipped through the cracks and were forgotten for years. Today we're bringing 10 of those Lost Noir Classics back into the spotlight. 10. The Prowler, 1951. Imagine calling the police because you think someone is spying on you, and the cop who shows up turns out to be the real danger. That's the dark setup of The Prowler, a film that slowly crawls under your skin. Van Heflin plays Webb Garwood, a patrolman who responds to a call from a lonely housewife named Susan. At first he seems helpful, calm, and professional, but Webb quickly becomes obsessed with her life. Her rich husband, her comfortable house, her unhappy marriage. To him, it looks like the perfect opportunity. What makes this movie so fascinating is how quietly evil the main character is. Webb doesn't act like a typical movie villain. He's smooth, polite, and calculating. Every move he makes feels disturbingly realistic, like someone who believes he deserves a better life and will take it any way he can. The film builds tension slowly, focusing more on psychology than action. The result is a deeply uncomfortable noir story about greed, desire, and manipulation. For years, The Prowler was nearly impossible to find, but today it's finally recognized as one of the most chilling noirs ever made. 9. The Narrow Margin, 1952. If you think modern thrillers invented the story that all happens on a train, think again. The Narrow Margin did it decades earlier, and it did it brilliantly. The film follows a tough cop named Walter Brown who is given a simple mission: escort a witness from Chicago to Los Angeles so she can testify against a powerful mob boss. The catch? The mob already knows she's coming. Almost the entire movie takes place on a train, which turns the journey into a moving pressure cooker. Brown has to figure out who he can trust while knowing that hitmen could be anywhere. The woman he's protecting is loud, sarcastic, and constantly complaining, which makes the trip even more chaotic. What makes The Narrow Margin special is its speed. The dialogue is sharp, the pacing is tight, and every passenger feels suspicious. One moment things seem calm, and the next moment someone is pulling a gun. Despite its clever story and intense atmosphere, the film was overshadowed by bigger studio releases at the time. Today, many noir fans consider it one of the smartest low-budget thrillers ever made. 8. Detour, 1945. If there's one film that proves you don't need a huge budget to make a masterpiece, it's Detour. This movie was made incredibly cheaply, but it somehow captures the bleak heart of noir better than many expensive productions. The story follows Al Roberts, a struggling piano player who hitchhikes across the country, hoping to reunite with the woman he loves. Unfortunately for Al, his trip turns into a nightmare. Along the way, he gets picked up by a mysterious driver. A strange accident happens, and suddenly Al finds himself trapped in a spiral of lies and bad luck that only gets worse when he meets one of the most terrifying characters in noir history. Anne Savage plays Vera, a woman so cruel and unpredictable that she practically hijacks the entire film. Every scene she's in feels like a ticking bomb. Detour is famous for its feeling of hopelessness. The main character keeps making decisions that dig him deeper into trouble, and the movie constantly reminds you that fate can be brutal. For decades, it was dismissed as a cheap B-movie. Now it's considered one of the purest examples of noir storytelling. 7. Too Late for Tears, 1949. Most noir stories revolve around dangerous men, but Too Late for Tears flips the script in a big way. The film begins with a married couple driving at night when something unexpected happens. A suitcase full of cash suddenly lands in their car. Instead of turning it in, the wife immediately sees an opportunity. Elizabeth Scott plays Jane Palmer, and she might be one of the most ruthless characters in the entire genre. The moment she sees the money, her mind starts racing. She lies to her husband, manipulates strangers, and becomes willing to do almost anything to keep the cash. What makes the film so fun to watch is how bold Jane is. She isn't afraid or hesitant. She's cold, confident, and always thinking 2 steps ahead. Of course, this is noir, so nothing goes smoothly for long. Soon, criminals, investigators, and suspicious outsiders begin circling around the mysterious suitcase. For many years, Too Late for Tears was nearly forgotten because of complicated rights issues. But once it was restored and re-released, audiences quickly realized they had been missing one of noir's most deliciously twisted crime stories. 6. The Big Combo, 1955. If film noir had a visual hall of fame, The Big Combo would probably have several scenes in it. This movie is famous for its stunning black and white photography. Shadows stretch across walls, characters appear half hidden in darkness, and the entire film feels like it's happening in a world where the lights never fully turn on. The story follows a police detective named Leonard Diamond, who is obsessed with bringing down a powerful crime boss called Mr. Brown. But this isn't a simple good versus evil story. Diamond's obsession begins to blur the line between justice and personal revenge. Meanwhile, Brown controls his empire with calm confidence, rarely raising his voice because he knows he already has the power. The film also introduces two silent hitmen who are both eerie and strangely fascinating. They barely speak, but their presence alone makes every scene feel dangerous. While The Big Combo didn't become a huge hit at the time, its visual style later influenced many filmmakers. Today, it's often praised as one of the most visually striking noirs ever made. 5. Blast of Silence, 1961. By the early 1960s, the classic noir era was fading, but Blast of Silence arrived like a final cold gust of wind. This movie feels completely different from traditional studio productions. It was filmed on the real streets of New York during winter, giving it a gritty, almost documentary-like atmosphere. The story follows a lonely hitman named Frankie Bono who travels to the city to carry out a murder contract. Frankie isn't glamorous or charming. He's awkward, bitter, and painfully isolated from the world around him. One of the most unusual elements of the film is the narration. A harsh voice constantly speaks directly to Frankie, almost like his own conscience mocking him. As he prepares for the job, memories and regrets begin creeping into his mind. Suddenly, the mission becomes more than just another hit. It becomes a reflection of the empty life he's been living. Blast of Silence wasn't widely seen when it first came out, but modern audiences appreciate its raw style and emotional depth. It feels less like a crime movie and more like a haunting character study. 4. Gun Crazy, 1950. Gun Crazy tells the story of two people who share a very dangerous hobby. They absolutely love guns. The film follows Bart, a quiet young man who has been fascinated with firearms since childhood. He's not violent, but he's completely obsessed with the thrill of handling weapons. Everything changes when he meets Annie Laurie Starr, a carnival sharpshooter who is just as obsessed as he is. Their chemistry is electric, but it's also incredibly destructive. Annie loves excitement and money, and soon she convinces Bart that robbing banks might be the perfect way to get both. What follows is a fast-moving crime spree across America. One of the film's most famous moments is a bank robbery scene filmed in a single continuous shot from the backseat of a car. At the time, it was a bold filmmaking choice that made audiences feel like they were right inside the crime. Gun Crazy combines romance, obsession, and tragedy in a way that feels surprisingly modern. Today, many filmmakers point to it as a major influence on later crime movies. 3. The Hitch-Hiker, 1953. The Hitch-Hiker is one of the most nerve-wracking films in noir history. The story is simple but terrifying. Two friends are on a fishing trip when they pick up a hitchhiker along the highway. Unfortunately for them, the man they pick up is a brutal killer on the run. Soon the two travelers realize they are trapped in their own car with a psychopath who forces them to drive across the desert while he plans his next move. What makes the situation even worse is the killer's unsettling behavior. He sleeps with one eye open because of a medical condition, which means the men can never be sure when he's watching them. The tension never lets up. Every mile of road feels dangerous, and the desert setting adds a sense of isolation that makes escape seem impossible. The Hitch-Hiker was directed by Ida Lupino, one of the very few female directors working in Hollywood at the time. Her tight direction and focus on psychological fear turned this simple premise into an unforgettable thriller. 2. Nightmare Alley, 1947. Nightmare Alley begins in the colorful world of a traveling carnival, but don't let that fool you. This is one of the darkest stories ever told in film noir. The movie follows Stanton Carlyle, an ambitious drifter who joins a carnival and quickly learns the tricks used by mentalists and fortune-tellers. With enough charm and clever manipulation, Stanton turns those tricks into a successful career, pretending to read people's minds. At first, everything seems exciting. Fancy suits, big crowds, and easy money. But Stanton's ambition keeps growing. Soon he pushes his act further and further, targeting wealthy clients and using their deepest secrets to control them. What makes Nightmare Alley so powerful is watching Stanton slowly destroy himself. His confidence turns into arrogance, and every lie pulls him closer to disaster. The film dives deep into themes of greed, deception, and human weakness. For many years, it was overshadowed by lighter Hollywood entertainment, but modern viewers recognize it as one of noir's most haunting cautionary tales. 1. Out of the Past, 1947. If you had to pick one movie that perfectly represents classic film noir, Out of the Past would be very close to the top of the list. The story follows Jeff Bailey, a quiet gas station owner who is trying to leave his mysterious past behind. Unfortunately, the past has other plans. One day, a man shows up with a message from a powerful gangster named Whit Sterling. Jeff once worked for Whit, and the reunion forces him to revisit a complicated story involving betrayal, stolen money, and a dangerously captivating woman named Kathy. Kathy, played by Jane Greer, is the definition of a classic femme fatale. She's charming, unpredictable, and always keeping people guessing. As Jeff retells his story, it becomes clear that escaping the past may be impossible. Every decision he made years ago still echoes into the present. Out of the Past combines beautiful cinematography, sharp dialogue, and one of the most compelling love and betrayal stories in noir. Over time, it has grown from a modest release into one of the most celebrated crime films ever made. Film noir has plenty of famous titles, but some incredible stories were hiding in the shadows. So which of these Lost Noir classics are you adding to your watch list? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into film history.